So lying flat on your back, a nice little bit of gap under your lower back, so a natural curve. Pull your belly in. Keep breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. We're going to bring both knees in. And you're going to take one leg up and release. So you're keeping the knees directly above the hips. And we're trying to stretch through the back of the leg. So if you feel you need to keep the knee bent, then please do. We're getting some stretch in the hamstring, the back of the thigh, and you're going to feel it in the back of the knee. So we're going to change that, make it slower. Flex the foot, point the foot, and release. So you're going to feel that stretch extend into the back of the knee, into the back of the calf. So you do it as far as you comfortably can. If you can get the legs straight, great, but just be aware of what's going on with your lower back. Let's take both feet down one at a time. Stretch the right leg out in front of you. And we're going to lift it all the way up and all the way down. Join me when you're ready. So be aware here of what's going on with your lower back. So I've just put my fingers under my lower back. If that's comfortable for you, please do that. So I'm flexing and point. Flex. And you're going to really feel that stretch. Trying to keep the other leg as still as you can and keep your back as still as you can. So if your fingertips are underneath, you're going to feel if it's wobbling around. Let's change legs. Lift and lower. Flex and point. Two more. Well done. So really think about your breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Let's change legs. Taking the other leg out. Now we're going to take it to a bicycle. So leave your foot nice and relaxed. I've got mine softly flexed. Now if that's too much, keep it a little bit higher. You'd be feeling it a little bit in the hips. And maybe in the tummy. But really again, be aware of what's going on with your lower back. You're using your tummy muscles to hold it in place. Let's change direction. So bringing that bicycle in. A little bit harder for the brain again. Well done. Change legs. So bicycle, it doesn't really matter which way you go because we're going to go both directions. And again, make it right for you. So if you need to make it smaller and take it above your head, do. Making that circle as big as you can, controlling your lower back. So if your back starts to arch as your leg comes down, you need to make the move a little bit smaller, please. Other ways. Two more. Well done. Bring that knee in. Straighten the other leg away. Feel that stretch through the hip. Hold it there with that stretch for a moment. Bring the knee in. Straighten the other leg away. So feel that stretch through the hip. Down one at a time, coming up to a seated position. Feet are flat on the mat, about hip width apart. So just check centre of the hips, centre of the knees, centre of the ankles. I'm going to come forward a little bit. My hands are on my knees. I'm going to pull in my belly, sit nice and tall, and reach back and forward. So you're going to feel this in your tummy. I'm going back quite a long way. Now if you're struggling with that, hold on to your knees until you feel it in your belly. Really working that tummy. So it's going to be whatever's right for you. Don't feel you've got to come back as far as me. If you can take the arms away, great. Now if you're finding that too easy, you're going to try and keep your feet on the floor. If they're coming off the ground, you're going to make it smaller. But if they're not, start adding an arm above the head. You're going to feel that really stretch through the body. Try and keep the feet hip width apart. Keep the knees under control, hip width apart. But listen to your body. If that feels too much, take it back. Put your hands underneath if you need to, or you could stick a strap underneath. But just holding your knees works if you're really struggling. This is the sort of intermediate version. Harder version. Slower you do it, the harder it is. So really try to be under control. Well done. Just come back onto the mat. And I'm going to give a little roll. Circle through the back. Give it a little bit of rest. Okay. Take your arms straight up in the air. Relax the shoulder blades down into the mat. And keeping the arms straight, you're going to lift the shoulder up and down. Reach. So my palms are facing. I'm going to turn around a little bit if you're not sure. I'm reaching. So you're getting some mobility in the shoulders. So you need to make sure you've got some space above your head in a moment, because we're going to change this movement. Don't worry if you can't lift very high. So you're reaching up and then letting that shoulder drop back to the floor. And let's change the movement. So palms are facing. You're going to take one thumb towards the floor, the little finger the other way. And up. And down. Doesn't matter if you can't touch. So really think about opening up between the shoulder blades on the mat. Okay, bring your hands down. Now we're going to go with leg slides or heel slides. So what I'm doing here is sliding the heel away along the mat. You're trying your hardest to keep that other leg still, so maybe have a quick look up, see what's happening. Push the heel of the stationary leg into the floor, and if you can comfortably, stick your fingertips under your lower back and just be aware if there's any movement in your back. You're trying to keep that back as stationary as possible. So breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth as you move away. If that doesn't work for you, just make sure you're concentrating on breathing. So really controlling the pelvis here. Well done. From there we're going to come to sitting. So bring your knees in, give it a little roll, and then if you can, come up to sitting. Well done. Legs out straight in front. Sit as tall as you can, and I want you to feel a stretch in the back of the legs. So I'll turn sideways. Now some of you might find you're here. That's fine. If you are, take your hands behind. Watch that your knees are pointing to the sky. I want you to make sure you're feeling that stretch in the back of the knees. So if you can, you're going to fold from the waist. So it's not about how far forward you can get. This is about getting a stretch in the back of the knees. So you can release the heels, which will take the pressure off the calves if you want, or if you want to extend it, gently flex the feet. If you're feeling this in your lower back, ease back. If you're here, that's fine too. Hold it for a moment. I'm relatively flexible, a bit tighter than usual today, but I'm coming forward and getting that stretch. Well done. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do, keep your right leg straight, bring your left knee up and take it across the other side and pull on that leg. So you're hugging it in, feel a stretch through the hip. Take the other arm behind, just gently look over your shoulder. Let's change legs. Start again with the legs, hip width apart, centre of the hips, centre of the knees, centre of the ankles. Left leg straight, right knee comes up. Take that leg over and you're going to hug it in. So you're going to feel a little bit of a stretch in the outside of the hip And I'm taking the other arm behind and gently looking over the right shoulder. So you're holding onto your right leg, just hugging it across. And then from there, you're going to take the soles of the feet together and open out. Now if that's really uncomfortable for you, take the legs nice and wide, but if you can, sit upright. And again, it doesn't really matter where your feet are. If you need to have them forward, that's fine. Just be really aware of your lower back, sitting nice and upright. Soles of the feet together, open out. And enjoy that stretch on the inner thigh. Okay, you might not be enjoying it. I know some of my ladies say, whoa, too much. And equally, if that is getting too much, if you're in this position, that's fine. And again, you might be leaning slightly back and still feeling that stretch on the inner thigh. It's a slightly different stretch. Those of you now with your feet together, come to this position. Now sit comfortably, however that might be for you, or if you prefer to come to standing, that's fine too. Taking your right arm onto your left shoulder, let it slide. Just give it a little stretch behind. So I'm just pushing gently there. Hand is sliding. So we get a stretch in the shoulder and slightly in the back of the arm. And over to the other side. And release. Well done. That's all for today. See you next time. Bye for now.